Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back. Game number 3 here between IdrA and BcuzofuProS. This time we are on Neo Enigma. That is the name of this map. We do have IdrA spawning here in the lower left position as our green Zerg player. And then down over here in the bottom right, the blue Terran player, BcuzofuProS. Now we are tied up 1-1 right now in this series. BcuzofuProS winning the first game with some very, very aggressive proxy racks pressure. IdrA winning last game with some very strong macro. Now last game we did see IdrA going with the Muta Speedling Baneling early mid-game build, and then he worked his way into Infestors and Brewlords as well. The biggest thing, though, is that IdrA's economy went unscathed for a majority of the game. We saw BcuzofuProS just not do much harass. He didn't do much mid to late game drop harass at all, be it Hellions, Stim Marines, whatever. He wasn't really able to hurt IdrA's economy very much, and IdrA, with some very nice engagements in the middle, was able to win that game pretty handedly. So again, here we are in game number 3. We will have to wait and see how this one ends up playing out. Now, last game, IdrA did state that BcuzofuProS was not able to play past the 10-minute mark, and although that appeared to be true last game, we'll see if that rings true this game as well. Now, BcuzofuProS starting off with that first racks here on the lower position, right on the bottom side of his ramp. We do notice, of course, as well, that there is no refinery yet. He should be coming out with one soon if he plans to. We do have that SCV scout moving across the map, and no, never mind. I thought that was going to be a scout, but it is instead going to be a second racks. So this game, again, BcuzofuProS will be going with some early 2 racks aggression. Very marine heavy, attempting to place down a bunker as well. Shouldn't be seeing a refinery anytime soon, and this is, of course, very likely to be followed up with an expansion. So we will, again, have to wait and see how effective this is going to be. We do have IdrA right now coming down with that hatch first. Here's that spawning pool as well, and then also moving out with that drone scout. Now we've got the Overlord scout making its way on across, although it'll be a little while until it spots the front of that ramp there to see whether or not that Rax is placed there. You can see right now, given his current position, he's not anywhere near the front. He's first looks like he's checking for that command center rather than just checking the front of the base. Alright, so we have a scout moving on across the map right now. We'll be grabbing that Zelnaga tower. We'd also have 2 SCV scouts for BcuzofuProS moving out because he does need to know immediately where IdrA is so that he knows where to apply this marine aggression. Looks like he will be heading now to the bottom left position. We'll be spotting out IdrA. IdrA now knowing where BcuzofuProS is, should be re-rallying his worker there. There we go. So working out, and he will be spotting this 2 racks pressure that's coming out from BcuzofuProS. Now doesn't need to be careful. There's an Overlord scout right there. Doesn't really want to place the bunker in that position, and for fear of this pressure coming out with some drones right now, first transferring to the mineral patch, but realizing now, okay, he's spotted out those 2 racks. He knows the pressure's coming, so now it's time to get ready to deal with it. Alright, so IdrA has got a spine crawler coming out. We are seeing BcuzofuProS rally up his forces, and let's see how this aggression is going to work. Bunker placement going down, moving to engage that spine crawler. Now we do have these drones that are going to probably reroute to engage, waiting until the speedlings come down, and here we go, going to be trying to get us around. That SCV is forced in the corner right now, trying to micro away from those workers, and needs to be really careful. Yeah, he loses the bunker, unfortunately. Also lost the SCV right there. So far, pretty good defense by IdrA, defending against this early marine aggression, although I don't expect it to let up quite yet. Here we go, Marines pushing forward with those SCVs as a buffer, and without that speed upgrade, these Marines going to do pretty good, although IdrA moving with that full surround here, coming down with those workers as well. This is a lot of not mining time, and he's losing quite a bit of workers. Nice wedge there by BcuzofuProS, sticking his Marines right in the corner, preventing that surround. That was absolutely phenomenal. This is forcing IdrA to come out with some more speedlings, things that he wouldn't typically do, and has hurt his mining quite a bit as well. And here we go, some more micro there, but on the creep, those regular Zerglings able to get that full surround. And that's going to force these Marines back. In fact, those Zerglings might be able to push forward to engage there as well. All the Marines here for BcuzofuProS are forced to push back. Is he going to try to engage? There we go, a little stutter step micro, trying to do as much damage as possible while keeping those Marines on the move to allow them to get closer to those reinforcements. And there we go, BcuzofuProS able to push back the rest of those speedlings. Is he going to keep up the aggression with the 2? It's really tough to say right now. He's got that expansion coming on through. Looks like that drone scout will be getting taken out by those 2 Marines. And here we go, the Marines pushing back. So, BcuzofuProS doing a bit of damage there. He killed off quite a bit. We can take a look at the resources lost tab. Overall, they're about even, but of course, keep in mind, IdrA was not mining for a very long time. He lost a ton of workers there as well. Overall, actually, no, he only lost 2 drones, but there was a lot of not mining time as the drones were positioned over here to try to stop that bunker, and as they pushed down to those Marines as well. So although because of you didn't actually kill off a ton of workers, rather just killed off a lot more Zerglings, still the fact remains that IdrA's economy was hurting as a result of that early pressure. So certainly paid off for BcuzofuProS, I'd have to say. It looks like he might be keeping up this aggression with this small task force, but again, keep in mind, without that metabolic boost, even this small amount of Marines is able to do quite a bit of damage. You can see that extractor is up right now, but metabolic boost isn't anywhere near coming out because he hasn't even started mining that Vespian gas yet. Fortunately, though, for because of you, with this Spinecrawler, IdrA should be pretty safe. We've got a lot of racks coming up because of you trying to get that full wall off here. He's not sure, apparently, whether or not the metabolic boost is coming out anytime soon. IdrA now just starting to mine that gas, and speedlings could be quite a problem for because of you, so he wants to make sure that he's got that full wall off up. Also, there's that possibility of IdrA trying to come out with some banelings, and he'd rather have this full wall off of racks than putting any supply depots down there, at least for the early stages of the game, until he gets some splash damage in play from siege tanks and anything like that. Alright, so because of you now coming out with that factory, he'll be working his way up into either that Blue Flame Hellion tech, or he might be going straight for medevac and be going for that Marine tank style build. Let's see what he's going to be coming out with. At least 1 or 2 Hellions, it appears, early on. He could, of course, use those for some effective scouting at this stage in the game. Now, IdrA droning up incredibly hard, feeling like he's pretty safe after that Marine aggression and doesn't really have to worry about anything else from because of you for a little while. Look at his drone count. This is nuts. Sitting at 48 drones. So look at that, as opposed to the 27 SCVs that because of you has. So very, very strong economy right now. In fact, we can take a quick look and look at that advantage going out to IdrA right now. So IdrA is moving across for an expansion. It looks like this will be a hidden expansion. Does he have it placed anywhere in particular, or is he still just moving across with this? We've got a pretty big Marine push coming out with that 1 Hellion as well. There's a scan going down, another Spinecrawler coming up. That should be finished in just 1 moment. There's that expansion, so IdrA will be going for a hidden expansion up there. But here comes that Marine pressure. I don't really expect this to do that much. He doesn't have stim pack yet. It's coming through, but isn't going to be finished anytime soon. So really don't expect this pressure to do all that much damage. Also coming out with an evolution chamber over here, and that Baneling nest just about finished. IdrA will be coming out with a few Banelings, and that's going to help tremendously against this unupgraded Marine pressure. Now, it looks like because of you, we'll be waiting until he gets that stim pack before he tries to engage again. And actually, IdrA now just sitting with only a few. We've got a couple of scouting speedlings moving out. They wanted to check to see the size of that force and exactly where it was positioned. And here we go, some more Banelings coming out through as well because of you working on his saturation, also working his way up to some medevac play. Stim pack getting ready to finish in just 1 moment. This engagement will be happening very shortly. There is IdrA coming out with that 3rd expansion as expected. Also centrifugal hooks coming out for those Banelings. We've got that Spire coming out, so working his way into that Speedling Baneling Muta build, and we will be actually getting those Mutas out very, very shortly. As long as he can defend against this Marine aggression, IdrA will then have Mutas on the board, and we'll be able to start harassing quite effectively. Alright, so right now those Marines trying to actually hurt that evolution chamber and get a bit of damage down. He's actually going to kill off that Queen. Very close. Losing a Marine to that Spike. Some Stim Marines moving down, and he kills the Queen. Sacrificial Stim Marine managing to get that last shot off on the Queen. And just look at this, just this position here from because of you. Because right now, IdrA doesn't want to engage with those Speedlings and Banelings for fear of these Marines stimming up and taking them out kind of in the corner position. Couple of Speedlings rolling down, though, taking out those Marines. Few more kills sitting over there as well. We got some pretty heavy macro coming from both players, and interestingly enough, because of you just working on this actually mini contain rather than actually pushing forward and engaging. But here come those double medevacs, and right now he's going to be dropping into the main base, but very nice Overlord positioning there for IdrA. IdrA is now fully aware that this drop is coming. Now, something I would actually like to see because of you do is if he dropped those Marines right here, he could get, at the very least, that Overlord kill and get a bunch of damage off on those Overlords as well. And here we go, Speedlings and Bands pushing forward. Marines stimming up, going to see Micro back. We got those Mutas moving forward, trying to take out those medevacs as well. Some very nice Marine splits. Wow, that was pretty impressive there for because of you. Splitting up his Marines and making it so that any splash damage from those Banelings wouldn't be all that effective. That was very, very impressive. Good job there for because of you. Although he wasn't really able to do much damage and he didn't push up onto IdrA's main base or anything like that. He got a little bit of damage off over here in this evolution chamber and he killed that Queen. But overall, really not the most effective. He got that mini contained, but you know what? What he doesn't know about is the fact that IdrA has an expansion up here. So he may be thinking that he's been delaying IdrA's 3rd, but in fact, IdrA coming out with that hidden 3rd is actually up and running and ready to go. Now, I do want to take a look here. Yeah, he has no idea. I just wanted to see if for some reason he had scouted it out, although it looks like a Hellion scout might be moving across the map. No, he is heading back right now. Got a Marine situated in the middle at that Xel'Naga tower, getting pushed around by his buddy's house. So very rude. So we got lots of mutas on the map right now. Hopefully IdrA starts to make use of these. There's heavy marine numbers here for Because of You, and that is definitely something that IdrA needs to stay away from. Hopefully we see some continued spread of the creep, and there we go, got a marine kill over there from those banelings. I do want to see some continued creep spread here by IdrA. Obviously the big danger though is really all it takes for Because of You is a simple scan, and he can take care of all of that creep and deny all the work that IdrA put into it. But look at this right now, transferring over some workers, going to start to get some saturation over here at this third expansion. Wouldn't be too surprised if he tried to drop at that high yield as well. So again, realize in that attempted contain there from Because of You, as he was situated outside of IdrA's outside of IdrA's natural expansion, he was really under the impression that he was stopping IdrA from expanding. But once more, IdrA does have this expansion up, so pretty solid play there by IdrA, moving on with that hidden expansion in preparation for that contain. Because of You right now, moving out to that high yield expansion, still sitting very marine heavy, finally starting to work his way into some tank play as well. Starports will be churning out those double medevacs. It looks like we will be seeing a drop, and this is what we really lacked last game from Because of You. He didn't do a lot of mid to late game drop harass, so if he can start to do this and really whittle away at the economy and tech of IdrA, it's going to help him out quite a bit. A little bit of damage going down on that command center. Managed to kill off a medevac as well from that splash damage. That's intense. Or maybe that was just an SCV. I think it might have just been an SCV. I could be wrong, though. You know, nobody really knows. And here we go. Oh no. Overlord spotting the medevac. Going to allow those mutas to take it out before he drops a single marine onto the high ground for some attempted damage against those mutas. Very nice there by IdrA, spreading out those overlords. Something that Because of You should do, or at least he should have done earlier once he first got that starport up. You get a medevac or two out, but then you come out with a single Viking, and that allows you to snipe out these overlords that are so crucial for IdrA's scouting information. If Because of You had managed to do that, then IdrA may have not scouted out that medevac coming, and then he could have been in a much better position to do a successful drop. IdrA right now trying to engage with those mutas, needs to be very wary about moving anywhere near that heavy marine count. But right now, especially since those marines are so spread out, and never mind, we got a lot of turrets coming up for Because of You. This is going to help tremendously, although there are quite a lot of mutalists right now, and IdrA definitely wants to stay away from those double turrets right there. He could manage to sneak some damage off over here and then try to kind of work in this position, giving him free reign of all these production buildings plus these depots as well. Lots of speedlings moving across the map. We have level 2 upgrades coming out right now for IdrA, as well as a level 1 Carpus, so level 2 weapons upgrade for those ground forces. Lots more speedlings also working his way up to Hive Tech right now. We're about 17 minutes in game. We're going to be seeing more marine and tank production here for Because of You, as well as those medevacs. You can see just pumping out those marines. Level 2 weapons upgrades coming out. Well, lots of marines engaging those speedlings. Speedlings need to be careful, especially with no banelings in there to help out. Definitely needs that splash damage against those marines. There's no question about that. So there we go, IdrA coming out with some banelings over there. Mutas just continuing to dance around the map. Still haven't seen any drop press or anything like that from Because of You. We have a stim marine that is scouting out. You can see the fact that yes, IdrA has not expanded to that high yield expansion yet. He moved his 4th expansion down here, and he still doesn't know about this 3rd. And look at this, IdRA's going to be hiding an expansion up here as well. So unfortunately, Because of You not scouting the entire map, he has no idea about these 2 expansions up here, and that's certainly not the best thing. But you know what? Right now, Because of You is getting ready to push out with a very strong marine tank force. He's going to be moving straight towards IdrA's base, hopefully trying to snipe out an expansion if he spots one of them. Marines providing a buffer against those mutalists right now. Tanks situated right in the middle. They will be used to protect those marines against those speedlings and banelings. And here go those mutas right now with those marines out of position. We'll be trying to do a little bit of damage. He's going to get the turret kill. Marines pushing down though, and they're going to be able to defend. But the big problem right now is that with this harass that IdrA is doing, Because of You, oh no, losing the racks. With this harass that IdrA is doing, Because of You isn't pushing out. And this is again kind of a repeat of what we saw last game, with the fact that IdrA is really able to macro up pretty hard without any aggression from Because of You. Couple of speedlings getting shot down there from those tanks. Tanks unsieging, get ready to move right now. So IdRA's just waiting for that optimal time to engage. He really wants to get those tanks out of siege if at all possible. All those mutas sitting right there. A couple stim marines will be engaging. We got those speedlings and banelings get ready to push down right now. IdRA's moving forward for an engagement. Catches those tanks unsieged. Does he have enough though? It doesn't look like it at all. And those mutas getting shredded by all those marines. And this is actually phenomenal. Oh no, did not even see all those infestors. IdrA has a lot of infestors right now. I was just going to say, because he was in a great position to push right now, but given all these infestors, it's going to be very hard for that marine heavy force to do much damage at all. Ooh, would have really liked a second fungal growth there that would have taken out a majority of those marines. So right now, with all those infestors, and we've got a greater spire just about finished. IdrA going very, very hard into that Broodlord tech. That's really going to put him in a very strong position. A couple of Marines stimming up and doing a bit of damage over here, and IdrA losing all of his workers at this expansion. Looks like he will be losing it in its entirety as well. These Marines should be enough to mop that up. A couple of Marines attempting to push down. That's going to get taken care of quite easily, though, with all of those speedlings. And here comes the push right now because of you moving across the map. Again, IdrA lost his expansion right now. Broodlings will be mopping up those Marines. There we go. But here comes a big, strong push. Stim Marines moving forward. This is a huge spread for because of you, though. His units are spread all over the place. These Marines in the front, very vulnerable to those speedlings right now, especially without the protection of those tanks. They're situated in the middle of the map. Lots of infestors over there. Don't know where those mutas are right now. Let me take a quick look. Looks like we actually only have 4 mutas right now, so unfortunately running into a few of those Marines, I'll force the loss of a lot of those mutas. But here come those Broodlords coming into play right now, and it's because of you aware of this. I'm not sure that he knows at all. He's only got 1 Viking in play, finally coming out with those double Vikings over there. And come on, we got it. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how he deals with these Broodlords. We may actually be seeing a repeat of last game in which he just not prepared for Broodlords at all. 1 tank in the middle gets taken care of very quickly. IdrA still sitting pretty comfortably at his expansions right now, and with the notable exception of losing that expansion. Besides that, it really hasn't taken that much damage. We have a couple of medevacs. We'll be moving across the map. They're scouting out for additional expansions. Doesn't look like they are rallied over there, however. IdrA choosing not to engage yet. He's actually going to be working up his Broodlord count just a little bit stronger. He still has this expansion up here. Would really like to see a little more saturation going down over there, in all honesty, right now, because he doesn't really have. I wonder what his mining's looking like. Is stronger than because of you, although mineral-wise, because of you eking out just a little bit. IdrA having the gas advantage at the moment. But right now, because of you, we'll be just working up his forces. Needs to get out a stronger Viking count. What are we sitting at right now? Sitting at a total of 5 Vikings. In fact, they are moving around the map. Looks like they are looking for some Overlords to kill. And the medevacs, have they spotted this additional expansion? No, not yet. We do have 1 medevac sitting right over here. Not sure where that other medevac ended up going right now. And here we go, Vikings. We're moving forward, trying to get a couple shots off on those Broodlords. But again, they need to be very careful about walking under those infestors. Taking a fungal growth can be incredibly devastating. We've got a second medevac with Marines over here. That's not really doing much of anything yet. And there go the Vikings right now. We'll be sniping out. Look how quickly dropping that Broodlord. We've got some Corruptors that will be moving out to engage. There's a nice fungal growth there as well. Fungal growth on some more of those Vikings. They need to stay away from the siege line, though. Those infestors need to be very careful about engaging too close to that siege line, because as you can see, those siege tanks take out those infestors so very quickly. Marines still idle over here. Medevac is still idle over here. IdrA will be working up an additional expansion. We've got some Zerglings to try to protect against any more dropping, as well as these spine crawlers over here. Scan going down for because of you in the middle of the map, spotting out those infestors. He sees those Broodlords that are morphing in as well. What are we sitting at right now for IdrA for that unit composition? We've got six infestors, but look at the 17 Corruptors. Now, obviously, we'll be expecting a lot more Broodlords, although he does want a healthy amount of Corruptors to try to deal with any of those Vikings. And here's a drop from because of you with the medevac that he had tucked away in the upper right. The Marines get taken out, and the medevac gets dropped as well by those Corruptors. So nice response, but at the same time, here comes that big push across the middle, trying to catch those infestors by surprise. However, IdrA was paying enough attention, and the Broodlord's doing a lot of damage to those tanks, forcing the own splash against his own units. Marines pushing forward, but walking into that fungal growth, and there should be another fungal growth as well. And see you later, Marines. We do still have 5 Broodlords in play, only 1 Viking plus that Thor right now. Infestors pushing back then, trying to stay away from that siege fire. We've got a lot more Vikings coming out though, and this is actually going to be looking a little bit dangerous for those infestors. Infestors need to be so careful about walking into that siege line, because the Vikings will be trying to snipe out those Broodlords, and this engagement so far going pretty well for IdrA. He has taken a lot of losses, but overall he did force that unsiege. Vikings, again, need to be so very wary about engaging those infestors. Let's take a quick look here, guys, at the unit loss tab. Looks like IdrA is behind right now, and very notably as well because of you working his way up into some expansion. See, it does have an attempted expansion over here. That's going to be being delayed by those Speedlings, though. This expansion will be coming out with that planetary fortress. And what has IdrA got going on right now? It doesn't look like he's doing a whole heck of a lot. He's got his forces rallied in the middle. His economy, let's see how that's looking right now. About even with because of you again, with because of you just sneaking out that slight mineral advantage. One thing I am wondering is about worker count. Yeah, we got 61 drones and 57 SCVs, so this is kind of basically what you look to see, pushing around 60 to 70 workers. You don't really want too many more than that because it just doesn't leave you enough supply to actually be able to create a large enough army to be effective at all defending or attacking. Now we're sitting with so many Vikings right now. Broodlords are pretty much out of the question at this point in the game, but look at those big fungal growths, and oh no, all of the Vikings getting taken out from fungal growths. That was unbelievable. That was so many Vikings right there. IdrA, absolutely phenomenal work. I was just saying how those Broodlords were kind of out of the question because the Viking numbers were so heavy with some very nice fungal growths, and unfortunately enough for Because of You getting caught out of position too far away from his tank line so that the tanks could not protect the Vikings against those infestors. Because of You just lost so many supply in Vikings. That was pretty devastating. A really unfortunate situation there for Because of You. Still, idle medevac over here. Couple of Zerglings stopping this expansion still, and actually right now Because of You is forced to actually try to move this down. Is he going to be trying to move into additional? Yes, he will be trying to move into this high yield expansion. That, however, is going to be incredibly difficult to actually defend. I will be incredibly surprised if he's able to get that up and running. We have a drop now coming for Because of You. He will be moving on to IdrA's expansion right over here in the upper left position. Not sure how much damage he will be doing though because of all those spine crawlers. Also have that queen with full energy. We'll be able to lay a few transfuses, and actually, wow, unbelievably, Because of You deciding not to move down there. It's not that unbelievable though. As I mentioned prior, that's just a very difficult position to defend. Very surprised they didn't just move a small task force up here to take care of these guys. Now here's a drop right now, and look at that. He is killing off a few workers, but those Marines are getting taken out by the spine crawlers Because of You not paying enough attention. There we go, finally pulling back. But a couple of speedlings moving down to help him take care of that. We do have some speedlings sitting over here, again, delaying that expansion. I would actually really love if IdrA had that burrow research, just burrowing a single speedling in that position. That's something that's certainly very frustrating. Although with the burrowed speedlings, you also don't get as much vision as if you have just a full speedling just situated right there. So here we go right now, Because of You really deciding that he needs to defend this expansion at all costs. We've got a couple of mutas moving forward and trying to get a little bit of damage down, but Because we will be able to land that expo. But for how long? Look at all these infestors plus these Broodlords in play. And here we go right now. Those Marines getting caught out of position. The fungal growth plus those Broodlords, Broodlings, and again some more Vikings getting fungal growths and forcing Because of You to call the GG. Because of You open up this game with some 2 racks early Marine aggression. However, with this, he wasn't actually able to do that much damage. IdrA responding properly, was able to get a full surround to prevent that bunker from being completed, and was able to keep a lot of those Marines at bay as well. And one big thing to note, though, is that IdrA did lack a lot of mining time as he was continuously forced to pull down with his workers just to engage Because of You's early aggression. Because of You then pushed out with the contain, being Marine heavy and throwing in a Hellion in the mix as well. The idea here was that Because of You was attempting to prevent IdrA from moving into his 3rd expansion. However, Because of You was unaware of the fact that IdrA did have a 3rd expansion going in the upper left corner of the map. IdrA worked his way up into mutas and then pushed out to break the contain. However, Because of You with some very nice Marine micro, able to split and stay away from a lot of that baneling damage, had enough Marines to push back that muta force. As Because of You moved into his 3rd, he also attempted some drop harass. However, the nice placement of an Overlord was enough for IdrA to deal with this before it had a chance to do any damage. At 20 minutes, Because of You pushed to the center of the map. Now IdrA tried to engage with those Speedlings, Banelings, and Mutas. However, he just did not have enough forces to deal with the heavy amount of Marines and tanks. This is where IdrA lost a majority of his mutas, and Because of You was ready to push out for some additional engagements. However, IdrA, with some infestors, was able to deny that. After pushing back the mutas from that center engagement, we saw Because of You move down, scout the expansion. He was able to snipe it with his small amount of Marines. IdrA worked his way up into Broodlords, to which Because of You responded with some Vikings. However, some very nice fungal growths, taking out a majority of the Vikings that Because of You had. And after that, IdrA really had no problem dealing with the Marine tank build that he had remaining. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This was game number 3 here between IdrA and Because of You. We will be moving on to game number 4 in the series between these 2 players in just one moment. Right now, IdrA is up 2-1. As always guys, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.